Oh, hi there! How are you today? Anything new with you? Today we'll be talking about another B movie. This B movie is called Manos, The Hands of Fate. I have no idea how long this video will be, so you might want to take a seat. A couple named Mike and Margaret, along with their daughter Debbie, find themselves lost on a highway road trip. Because Mike is full of great ideas and they cannot find their way to the Valley Lodge, they decide to go into a mysterious looking shack instead, hosted by a mysterious hunchbacked man called Torgo. Naturally, Mike trusts Torgo despite being a very shady guy who's so shady I doubt he could pass as a used car salesman. Also, Mike still wants to stay with Torgo despite Torgo warning him about a group of evil wizards who are led by a mysterious man called the Master. The Master is a Waluigi impersonator who is granted the mysterious dark powers by a being called Manos. So, because Mike is such a brain trust, he decides to stay in the shack, despite Torgo's warnings. I know you can guess how this film's going to end. I'll give you a hint. It doesn't end with they all lived happily ever after. Even if you discount the bad acting, I wouldn't recommend you watch this film. Well, unless you have Mystery Science Theater 3000, or any other YouTubers who like to comment on bad movies who aren't edgy. But good luck doing it on your own. It's trying to be a slow burn, atmospheric, supernatural horror, but it's so sluggish and meandering. Plus, half the scenes are only there just to drag out the runtime. Now, I know what you're probably thinking. How did such a crazy film get made? Well, our story starts with a man called Hal Warren. Hal was a Texas real estate salesman. Hal made this movie to win a bet against a man called Sterling Silliphant. Sterling was a genuinely talented man who was the screenwriter for In the Heat of the Night, among other movies. Now, because Hal Warren was a brain trust like his character Mike in the script, he wanted to beat Sterling Silliphant at his own game, despite having no experience with the craft. And like his movie, it ended in such a predictable manner. This is because Hal Warren was in over his head. He had a shoestring budget, he had a bare bones belt and howl camera, a lack of remote sound equipment, and a cast mainly comprised of community feature actors and local extras. Oh, and one of these actors was a junkie. Also, due to poor sound design, the film is dubbed with only 5 voice actors. Now I'm wondering if Hal Warren got inspired by those badly dubbed Hong Kong Kung Fu movies. Oh! Also, due to how poorly received Manos was, it's very hard to find any information on anyone involved in this film outside of Warren. It's honestly easier to find information on Bill Watterson than these guys. That said, Mr. Warren tried to talk a well-known Hollywood actress who has yet to be identified into flying to El Paso to play Margaret. Unfortunately for Mr. Warren, she bailed on him as soon as she saw the production. You know, I'm starting to realize Hal's not such of a brain trust with his ideas. His ideas are so out there. It's like that time a Japanese beer company made an animated movie that's a remake of The Deer Hunter with Christopher Walken, but stars penguins. Anyway, I'm going to wrap things up. The finished film was released in the year 1966, and it made Warren the laughingstock of the entire world. That must have stung. I'm wondering how much money did he bet?